I spent 365 days curating an influential TikTok and succeeded. My name is Elliot Jameson Macchia. I am an actress, a filmmaker, a classicist, and now an internet personality. You may or may not recognize me from my internet persona, Sock. Sock, under the TikTok handle Indie Kids on the Rise, was a caricature of the alt aesthetic that was big during quarantine. Views on this account very quickly exceeded what I had intended, with a single video sitting upwards of 6 million views. I was recognized in my hometown around my college campus, and soon enough a small but passionate fan base had formed around this person who didn't really exist. I received fan art and edits and constant DMs. Okay, editing Elliot here, and I have to show you guys this full edit because it's crazy. But as with any influencer, especially one like this, I also received massive amounts of hate. Some were as severe as literal death threats. The reasons for hating my character were widespread, as we'll get into later, but most were centered around Sock's existence being cringe. Let me just preface this video by saying that I did not start Sock to make fun of anyone, nor did I intend to offend anyone or anything with Sock. In order for me to fully articulate why I started this account, we have to start in November of 2023 with the release of the film Saltburn. For those of you who are unaware, Saltburn is a 2023 psychological thriller written and directed by Emerald Fennell. I saw it in theaters when it first came out, and I left that theater a changed woman. Saltburn was only in theaters for a month, but in that time I saw it 5 more times. The day it came out on streaming, I threw a Saltburn-themed party so that I could show my friends the movie before anyone else got to it and, yes, see their reactions to those scenes. I've always been prone to hyperfixation, and Saltburn just happened to strike the right chord in me at the right time. From the moment I saw Archie walk across the screen as Farley Start, I could not think of anything else. I ate, slept, and breathed Archie. Within weeks, my life became a series of increasingly desperate attempts to reach him. And yes, I know this is not a healthy celebrity fan relationship, but hindsight is always 20/20, as they say. I quickly reached my limit on the amount of DMs I was allowed to send him without a response, so I sent him a physical letter. Again, no response, so I decided I had to change my strategy. I rekindled my passion for acting, something that I had given up on after 14 years of training, and began to audition for things again in hopes of landing a role and getting close to him. Obviously, Backstage.com is not exactly the right outlet for auditions, but I did not know this yet and was annoyed with the lack of auditions that were even available. I started an Instagram to try and become an influencer where I posted stupid aesthetic photos, and again, it was crickets. Finally, I decided to try and make fun of myself on the internet. Back in quarantine, I had been an anime-obsessed, ultra-emo cringe lord, so I channeled that energy. I did my makeup, hair, and clothes the way that I did back then, albeit more drastically. My best friend at the time joined in on making fun of her past self as well, and Sock and Mochi were born. Within a week, our original video had surpassed 200,000 views. I began to post every day in hopes that the algorithm would pick up my videos, which I'm not even sure is a real thing, but such is life. Side note, for some reason I have never looked better in my life than when I was dressing up as Sock every day and balls deep in Saltburn. I really reached my peak for some reason then. Anyways, I got dedicated to the whole Sock thing. I redecorated parts of my bedroom, I bought merch and extra accessories, made an Instagram and a Twitch and a Discord, anything I could think of. I even went on a vacation for a week with my sister and still posted every single day because I just wanted to get this random niche celebrity man to notice me. And fuck, posting as Sock was a whole ordeal. It took years to get on the costume and the makeup, and infinitely longer to get the makeup off. But I persisted, and it's a good or bad thing that I did, because by mid-March, I had multiple videos with over 1 million views each. I have screenshots from April 1st where I thought that 7,000 followers was this like super large quantity, which is hilarious in hindsight. By April 10th, I finally broke 10,000 followers, 20,000 by the 25th, 50,000 by mid-May. By that time, I had reached enough people that old friends and exes of mine that I had had falling outs with began to emerge from the woodwork in hopes of getting something from me, like fame, money. It's unclear as to what, but it was incredibly jarring to see. But even just 50,000 followers had still garnered me massive amounts of hate. Death threats became a common occurrence. Every slur you can imagine popped up in my DMs, even those that did not apply to me. It was a wild and surreal experience that I would have expected to affect me a lot more than it did. I think for some reason I felt disconnected from the person that was receiving the hate, since I was playing a character. It was Sock receiving death threats, not me. One comment in DM that I received frequently that I don't think really counts as hate was along the lines of, "This has to be satire." This is so weird to me. Was it satire? Technically, yes, but not for the reasons that people thought. People thought that Sock had to be satire because no one in their right minds would put themselves through the experience of looking and acting like that, which is not the kind of satire that I had intended. Let me remind you that I looked and acted like that. The satire argument was an odd one. For starters, most people on the internet have no idea what satire actually means, and they use the term interchangeably with a joke or a bit. Satire is, by definition, the art of making someone or something look ridiculous, raising laughter in order to embarrass, humble, or discredit its targets. Dressing in a style that some people would find cringe or embarrassing is not satire. The fact that people assumed it was really bothered me. The death of personal freedom of expression is a much bigger topic for a much longer video, but it did feel prevalent here. People are expected to look and act one way, and when they do not conform to that, others assume that they must be joking. And I know it's not as big of a deal as I'm making it seem like, but it really did irk me. People were constantly trying to cancel Sock for dressing the way that they did. And while I obviously do not think that dressing alternatively is a cancelable offense that's fucking insane, there are plenty of real sins that I do have to confess to. For starters, I bought a Dream hoodie. The Minecraft streamer. After the allegations came out. I bought it secondhand, yes, and no money actually went to Dream, but I'm still not proud of it. Additionally, I thought it would be a good idea to create a Discord server for Sock fans where they could have a sort of community and a safe space to express themselves, but that Discord server quickly became unsafe, and the night that I shut it down, I sat in front of the toilet for hours thinking that I was going to be sick just from the things that I saw in there, and I have a strong stomach. I lied for a year about my identity. That's a pretty big offense. I became a beacon of hope for kids similar to Sock that they may have a better life with fewer hardships in front of them, and it was all fake. I am now going to be, however unwillingly, contributing to this narrative that being different is something that is socially unacceptable. So if any young Sock fans are watching this, please listen to me. Embrace the things that society deems odd about you. I know it may not feel like it, but your oddness is your superpower. Just because I conform to a conventional beauty standard does not mean that you have to, or that you're any less beautiful if you do not. You are beautiful for your individuality, and I know I sound like someone's mom right now, but it's the truth. Alright, now that I've aged myself 20 years, let's talk about the actual experience of being a niche micro-internet celebrity. What a string of words. First of all, influencers with a small to medium following are making a lot less money than you think, especially on TikTok. TikTok pays like shit. Most times I made $20 over a whole month. Secondly, it takes a lot more than 80,000 followers to be famous. I think I got recognized 3 times in the last year. The first time I got recognized, I was screaming along to the Saltburn soundtrack in my car with the windows down at a stoplight when a truck pulled up next to me, and the kid in the passenger seat made eye contact with me and sort of started freaking out and like hit her dad and was like, look, to make sure that he saw me too. And I was certain that I was being made fun of for my loud music, and it took me hours to register what the likely explanation was. The other 2 times were on campus, and Nobody really cares about how many followers you have on TikTok on campus. It's more like oh, I've seen that girl on TikTok, and then you move on with your day. However, my favorite part by far of having a fan base was having people drawing me regularly. Fan art is such a heartwarming and special part of having a following, and I'm constantly in awe that I mean enough to people for them to draw me. I guess. I'm giving up on sock for a few reasons. I've been falling off for a long time now, with longer and longer periods in between my videos. Also, I lost the freaking login to my TikTok, which is awesome. Mostly though, it's because of the sheer amount of time that it took up. It was fine at the end of the spring semester and over the summer, even at the beginning of the fall, but now I'm constantly busy. And I'm making a movie as well, which takes up like 90% of my time outside of class. Shameless plug, follow Amor Vincent Omnia Film on all platforms. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I really am sorry to anyone that I may have hurt by pretending to be someone that I'm not. Until we meet again, bye-bye.